We don't have a script to follow.
Or big-time endorsements.
We're not professional hunters.
No such thing in this country.
We are professional outfitters.
Trust me, that's as close as it gets.
We got lots of hunters each season.
We put them on deer.
And I mean good deer.
We're deer thugs.
Mossy Oaks Deer Thugs is presented by Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Section 1, question 3.
How much calling do you do? What types of calls do you use?
Early season, I don't do much calling at all, unless I'm harvesting does.
Fred Law, Enon Plantation.
However, once the season progresses and the rut nears, I break out all my tricks to go along with the bag and the horns. I like to use my Quaker Boy meat hook, my thug jug. I'll do such things as I refer to as blind calling. That's when I haven't saw any deer, heard any deer, throw out a couple of light grunts, either with my mouth or the meat hook, and then maybe a little snort wheeze, hit the thug jug, just real low key, and then tickle the horns, just a very little bit to start off with, because all I want to do is get those deer on their feet, or if they're just out of sight, just to bring them in, pique their curiosity. Most of the time, you have nothing to lose. Either that deer is already bugged out and leaving, or not even coming in, so don't be scared to call. Try it. It can tip the scales in your favor. We're hunting third week of December. Generally, there's some rut activity. We're just getting out of what I refer to as the December lull. What I mean by that is there's some slow time that you don't see a whole lot of movement. The rut's not in, so the bigger deer aren't up and moving, but right before Christmas, we generally start having some pretty good pre-rut. There'll be a little bit of chasing, so it's a time of the year that I like to hunt. We're in pre-rut. It's December. Got a little buck that's come through. He's right here under a still. They do a little bit of chasing. The best is yet to come, but it's a great time to be in the woods. We're on the backside of a weed field. I don't want to move too much because little buck's right here to my left, but there's grapes, rubs, still a lot of leftover water oak acorns in here the deer are foraging on. I hope we can get some deer coming from that weed field in here to feed this morning, then go back to bedding. Maybe even a little chasing if we get lucky. We started out first morning. We got down in a nice hardwood bottom. Had some deer come through. Small bucks and stuff, but didn't see a whole lot. But it was a pretty good morning, but didn't see a lot.
Mossy Oaks Deer Thugs is brought to you by Walmart, Ram Truck Brand, Quaker Boy, Lethal, Mossberg, and by Precision Shooting Equipment.
Section 1, question 3.
How much calling do you do? What types of calls do you use?
I don't do a whole lot of deer calling.
Jimmy Riley, Giles Island.
But if I'm sitting in the stand, and I don't have anything working, there's no deer moving out front, I like to rattle about every 30 or 45 minutes. Particularly if we get a buck crossing, we can't tell what he is, whether he's a shooter or not, or he's not coming our way and he is a shooter. If he's outside 150 yards, I'm gonna rattle to him. If he doesn't turn then, or if he's closer than 150 yards, I'm gonna use a grunt call. If I can't get him to turn and come with a grunt call, I'm gonna use a thug jug. That's gonna work better during the pre-rut and the rut time. And you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And as a last resort, I'll use a snort wheeze. I found that about 75% of the time when you snort wheeze to a deer, he's heading in the other direction. But if he's not coming your way, it doesn't hurt to try, but I use that for a last resort.
We made our decision that we wanted to get out on an open spot where we could see a lot more, and so I had a stand situated. It was on a ridge crest, but had good visibility and hoped to have opportunity to take a deer, but at least we could put our eyes on a deer that we'd like to try to harvest and move a stand in.
Okay, we moved out of the bottomland this morning. We were in the hardwoods. We saw a little bit of activity buck-wise. We got a little spike under us right now, but we got out in this open sage where we can see a lot of chasing going on. There's a lot of scrapes, a lot of trails intersecting right on top of this bedding area, crossing over this ridge. Hopefully, if we're not right on them this afternoon, we can move and get a little closer if we can see a deer we want to kill. We got another deer, a doe, moving left to right too, just now, just see her. I better quit talking and start hunting.
Started seeing deer, then we had a nice deer come out on our right.
Got a nice buck coming out over here, nice buck. If I get turned.
Hey Blake, I like to shoot with my quiver on, but I notice you don't. What's the pros and cons of quiver on, quiver off?
Well, I get that a lot, and really as far as the accuracy of the bow, it doesn't make a lot of difference. I do recommend that people practice with it either on or off, however they're going to be shooting. It's just best to always practice exactly like you're going to be hunting. So I say if you like to shoot with it on, that's fine. I would recommend that people look at a two-piece option because it's a little more consistent, has less chance of picking up vibration. But if you don't panic one way or the other, you can make a shot and it's still going to hit where you're aiming and be effective either way. It doesn't affect your air impact a whole lot one way or the other.
Okay, good deal. Well, I've just always liked to have mine, so if I needed another arrow or not, and it was close by.
Exactly, that's the advantage.
Got a nice buck coming out over here, nice buck. If I get turned. He's in behind these pines right now.
But he wouldn't come out of the thicket all the way.
He needs to come on out. He needs to clear these pines here. He needs to hurry up, come on out. It's getting dark. I just don't have a shot. Uh-oh. I think he's finna follow this doe. This doe's going back in.
And there was a doe that I guess is getting pretty close because she went across by him and right in the thicket, and he wheeled and went right in with her.
He went right back in that thicket behind that doe. I just didn't have a shot. That's how it is sometimes. Bowhunting's a matter of inches. I needed to clear a few feet so I had a shot. He just didn't give it to me.
Section 1, question 3.
How much calling do you do? What types of calls do you use?
Calling is a great tactic when you're deer hunting.
Justin Akins, Canadian River Hilton.
I love calling animals at the right time. Get the rattling horns out, and there's nothing like it. You go to banging the horns and the deer start coming, and that's an absolute rush. In between the rattles, throw some grunt calls in there, some snort wheezes. Snort wheeze call can make the bucks really respond in an aggressive way, which is a great tactic. Even early season, I never leave without my grunt call. The grunt call is a great quick call if a buck's walking out of range or you need to stop a buck for a shot. But if I've got to have one call with me from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, it's going to be my grunt call.
Mossy Oaks Deer Thugs is brought to you by Come Here, Deer, Charlie O Products, New Fletch, Scott Archery, Schwacker Broadheads, and by Mossy Oak Brand Camo.
Section 1, question 3.
How much calling do you do? What types of calls do you use?
Based on season, I do a lot of calling.
Kevin Burleson, heart of Texas bow hunting.
I call year-round from start of the season to finish. When you're in an area that has a lot of deer, you realize how vocal the deer are. The deer are very vocal all the time. So I call a lot, but aggressive calling usually doesn't come to the rut, where I'll heavily use a grunt call in a very aggressive manner. Snort weaves, when I see a buck that won't turn, I'll try to snort weave him in. Rattling, we do a lot of rattling. So it's a very seasonal thing, but I do just a wide variety of it based on the season.
And there was a doe that I guess is getting pretty close because she went across by him and right in the thicket, and he wheeled and went right in with her.
He smelling that doe, got right on her, and went right back down in that thicket where he come from. Wait a minute, I hear something. He's coming back, he's chasing that doe, he's coming back.
Then that doe was coming right back, and that nice buck was just right on her, just coming.
He's gonna come right onto the stand.
And so got ready, and he come right up underneath the stand. I mean, easy bow range, but just no shot opportunity whatsoever.
Oh. No shot.
But they made a loop around, and I saw the doe was gonna come back in.
Here comes the doe coming back, he's right behind me. If they cross the road, I might get a shot.
She crossed the road, and
Here you go.
I drew my bow, and when he hit the road, I just gave him a meh, meh, and he locked it down.
You got him.
Call Thug with Chris Kirby.
Chris, when or what scenario do you not want to call?
Well, there's really not too many. The only scenario that I would not call is if I'm sitting in the stand and my wind has completely shifted and it's gone bad. Obviously, if the wind has gone bad, my scent's blowing down in there, I don't want to call on top of that, because now I do believe wildlife can tie in. You know, deer can smell better than any animal out there. He's going to smell me, now he's going to hear that sound, and I think he can associate the two. So if the wind goes bad on me, I'm probably just going to sit there and wait and start looking the other direction and hope for better luck the other way.
You know, I'll totally agree with that. And also, if I've called at a deer and he's responding and coming my direction, I'll quit calling and just let him come. That way, maybe he won't exactly pinpoint my location.
That's a great point, because at that point the call has done its job. That deer is coming. There's no point in doing anything else. Great point.
Call Thug, brought to you by Deer Thug Calls, powered by Quaker Boy.
Here comes the doe coming back, he's right behind me. If they cross the road, I might get a shot.
She crossed the road, and
Here you go.
I drew my bow, and when he hit the road, I just gave him a meh, meh, and he locked it down.
You got him.
Smoked him. All right, thugged another one. Smoked him. So we got us a nice deer harvested, good shot, good clean kill, and so we really got this hunt on to go. Well, we in Alabama, but you still gotta wear hunter's orange, so when you're on the ground, be safe. At night, I don't think it matters that much, but we got it on. Now, let's go over here and see if we can pick up this air. Got a lot of sign on it. We went straight crashing through this brush. He piled up out here and we heard him. Yeah, he's leaving quite a bit of sign there. There he is. He's a respectable deer. I'm proud of him. I like to kill big deer. I've killed bigger deer, but this is a nice deer that I'm proud of, and sometimes when you're out hunting, you need to think about it. But all the deer you're going to see when you hunt are not always going to be big deer. And if a deer comes out and chases does and you manipulated the stand and placed it and did all the hard work and you get a shot, that deer makes you happy, you need to harvest that deer. And this dude right here will make some real good venison steaks, and a lot of good meals will come from him. And I'm proud to have harvested him. We'll get the truck and get him out from in here. I'll see you guys later. We just got fortunate that the location we chose with the, of course there were several trails dissecting this ridge top, and the deer come out of the bedding going to feed, and we were able to harvest the animal.
Section 1.
Question 11.
What's the one thing you have two of in your pack?
Grunt call.
Releases.
Tree umbrellas.
Nothing on purpose.
Release. You get 2 trees?
Yeah, because I hate to hunt in the rain, man. I ain't gonna sit there and get wet. I'll put that tree umbrella in. My hunter wants one, he's got one.
That's good. All right.
Rapid Fire is brought to you by Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Section 1, now number 3.
How much calling do you do? What types of calls do you use?
Actually a big call guy. I mean, calls and scents are very important to me.
Charlie O'Brien, the Catch-22 Ranch.
You know, it really depends on the season. I mean, parts of the season, you know, pre-rut, post-rut, that kind of thing, or actually, you know, full-blown rut. But big fan of the grunt call. Use the thug jug a lot during the breeding process, you know, trying to get those bucks to come in a little closer. But also a huge fan of the snort wheeze, you know, during the rut cycle. It's, you know, the dominant buck definitely plays a big factor in that, and as far as bringing deer, you know, closer to you, especially bow hunting. Understanding the snort wheeze and when to use it, I think is very important too. And you know how aggressive you are, you know, it really dictates, you know, how close you want to get those deer to you. So big fan of those calls, definitely. Use them as much as I can.
We got us a nice deer harvested, good shot, good clean kill, and so we really got this hunt on the go. After that, we had a couple of more days to hunt, and so our objective was to try to get a nice deer. The second morning out, really from daylight on, we had activity. There was a nice buck. I'll call him a 9. He had 8 and a bump.
Got a buck coming. Got a buck coming.
He was a borderline deer, whether we really wanted to take him or not. He never presented a shot, so that made it a easy choice on him.
No shot. Got limbs in the way.
We had a couple of holes that if you just, you know, I'd rather not try to just sneak one in there, so we opted just to let that one slide.
Well, he's gone across that creek. He's gone. Just never had a shot. We're gonna hang in here, a lot of movement though. Still got deer around. Hopefully we get another opportunity.
As the morning wore on, heard something behind us, and a doe come busting through from the left.
Got a doe coming in back here behind us.
And we had a 6-point already off to our side, and he started tensing up, and so I knew something else was coming.
I see another deer. There's a buck. There's a buck behind there, across the creek.
And I looked, and this big-bodied deer, just saw him coming through the swamp there.
Doe's coming on in. He's behind her.
And when he got a good look, he had a good side and a spiky side, and just a straight cull deer.
He's a cull. He's got one good side. The other side's just like a spike. He's a big old body deer, though. If he comes in here, we'll take him out for management deer.
4 or 5-year-old deer, just big old body, and I'd have loved to have just used him for a management deer.
He crawls back out of the creek, out of the dry creek bed.
All this deer needed to do was come up the creek bank, and I'd have had a shot on him. But for some reason, even though this 6-point was way smaller, and this, 50-pound difference body weight at least, but the old big cull bugged out, one off, so we didn't get a shot there.
That's just a break sometimes. No trophy deer, but a big body, big mature deer, but he's messed up on one side. I sure would like to have shot him, but we still got some time. I'm just gonna sit back down and hang out in here.
I like shooting culls. That's kind of like a freebie deer, one that you need to take out, but it allows you to get some meat for your freezer and to take a shot every now and then.